Well, our second guest today is Robbin Kelley, and Robbin is the director of cemetery services here in Harwich. And we've been talking here before we get into the interview, and she has an awful lot of information and some very good ideas. So as she explains some of the programs, you might want to have a little piece of paper, or you might want to remember to tune the program in more than once. So anyhow, Robbin, just how do you attack your job?
Well, I'm the cemetery administrator for the town. Every day, usually when I come to work, I usually get phone calls from funeral homes telling me that someone has passed away, and we have to go and then either meet with the family or meet with the funeral home and make sure that all the arrangements are made so that the burial goes off on time. A lot of times people do not pre-plan, and we have to meet them the day after someone has passed away. So I thought I'd better put together a pre-planning kind of like a seminar with all different kind of speakers that could actually help you prepare so that way people are not making rushed decisions when they're grieving, because sometimes they don't think rationally and they just want to do everything to what they think is deserves the ultimate best, and then they end up spending a little bit too much money. If they pre-plan, then they actually can make rash decisions with their spouse or with their loved ones, and then everything ends up going a lot smoothly, and you can actually pick out what grave space you want. He's going to be to the left, I'm going to be to the right. We want a stone, we want a bench, and that stuff is all done in advance. So we are having a pre-planning seminar. It's going to be on June 9th here at the community center in the multi-purpose room. We have quite a few speakers that speak from everything from funeral directors. We have attorneys that are going to be coming to speak. Michael Lavender is going to speak about the pros and cons of transferring your home into your adult children's names to avoid nursing home or asset protection. We also have a number of other attorneys that are going to be speaking about estate planning, trusts, administration. We have this lovely lady, Sue, who's coming from the Comfort Zone camps.
And
you
tell me about that. Yeah. That's very interesting.
Yeah, the Comfort Zone camps is a bereavement for children. And now that a lot of our elder people in the community are raising their grandchildren, I'm actually raising my granddaughter right now, when they lose their grandparent who has been acting as their parent, it's especially hard for them. They've already experienced a lot of loss, probably in their family, and now they have lost somebody who potentially has been their parent for most of their lives. This service is completely free. They get to go to the camp and learn how to talk to other children who have also had a lot of loss. They play games. They don't do all just bereavement there. It's an actual camp, but then they release balloons in the sky with little messages to their loved ones, or they float boats on a lake. It's very calming. My nephew went there. He absolutely loved it. He was having a difficult time with his father's death. But she'll be coming to speak about all different services, as well as they are looking for volunteers that would like to work at the camp to share how they were grieving or helping out. So they peer partner them. So each child is partnered up with somebody that might have gone through something similar. A loved one died of cancer, or suicide, or whatever. It's a great resource for the community. We also have Ann Gagan, who's going to be speaking about bereavement for adults, or as well as children, I'm sure. We have Tom Blute from Crosby Monuments. He's going to talk about monumentation. A lot of people have always gone with the traditional monuments, but a lot of people now are switching to natural stones, or just a bench, or
Really? A
yeah,
bench? Wow.
yeah, and the benches are a lot more reasonable in price compared to an upright monument. So, and when you go to visit, you can have a little seat. So it's always nice. So that's, we also have Will Remillard, our local veterans agent, who most of you know in the community. He will be speaking about what you need to get ready to present at the time of your death. You need your medical discharge papers and all the other things. I'm not positive all of the requirements. That's why Will be coming to speak to that.
Very good. And is that everybody now?
Nah, we have Kevin Considine, who's from the Harwich Police Department. He'll be talking about what you should do if somebody is to pass away at your home. You know, I think a lot of people get confused. You know, somebody passes away at night or while they're sleeping. What the proper things that you should do, and he's going to address that. We also have Christine Demery. She's from Dolebale and Ames. She'll be talking about pre-planning your funeral, and John Blute will be from Morrison, O'Connor, and Blute. And if you prepay for your funeral services, you lock in today's prices, and if you live for 20 years, it doesn't go up. Everything's all already covered, and then you know what you're going to be getting. I'm going to be talking about when you choose and purchase your cemetery lots, which I've been selling a great deal lately. People purchase them because they know what they want. They want 2 full-body burial grave spaces. They buy it, and they buy their monument. But they never really write down that that was their wishes.
I see.
And then when they're, you know, I've been doing this job for 10 years, and then I'll meet the family 5 or 6 years later, and the kids were like, well, we're going to just cremate him. And I'm like, I know that he wanted to have a full body burial because that's why he bought these lots. Well, we're not going to do that. Which is, you know, their decision. If you don't write down what you want, you probably are not going to get it. So we have different forms that I'll be handing you out, as well. Barbara Ann from the Council on Aging is actually working this with me as well. And she has a lot of information as well on different programs for people afterwards. But we both have forms. Some of the forms that she has are like preventative things. If you fall in your house, who do you want to notify, and all that stuff, rescue, what medicines are you taking. And I have forms that talk about what do you want for burial, you know, and you fill that out with your loved one. It says, do I want an earth burial? Do I want a cremation burial? Do I want to have services? Do I not want to have services? Do I just want to have a graveside celebration? These are different things that you can talk about with your loved ones, and you can have all set in advance so that there's no questioning, well, I think she might wanted this. But you don't know until you've been through a few of them. People really are uncomfortable making the pre-planning decisions because they don't think they're ever going to pass away. Or they don't want to think about the fact that they will be passing away.
So is that that's it?
Well, we've got a few other different things that'll be going on. Barbara and we'll be talking about different programs that you can get involved in. So you've been married for 50 years, your loved one passes. It can be a very lonely time. And so that she has programs set up here at the community center and outside the community center, men's groups, women's groups, where you can get involved with other members of the community so that you're not stuck at home and feel like now you're isolated because, you know, there's nobody there with you that you're used to having somebody with you every single day.
So that sounds like a pretty comprehensive program.
Yeah, there's a lot. And of course, we'll be having light refreshments, which is always good. And so I don't think that everyone that will be presenting will be having handouts. It's a lot of material to take in at one sitting. Each speaker will be talking for about 10, 15 minutes, but then you can go up to the tables afterwards if you have any questions, and they'll have cards and they'll have brochures to hand you so that you can take away, and that way if you have questions later on, you don't need to take a lot of notes while you're there because you'll have ample time. And this will be also recorded. The seminar will be recorded, and we'll be making a couple CDs. One will be with Barbara Ann in the Council on Aging, and one will be at my office. That if somebody could not make it out due to health restrictions or something like that, they could still be able to preview all of the material that was covered, and then that way they can make their own decisions.
Well, it sounds like you've covered everything from A to Z here.
We try.
Yeah. And this is the result of your 10 years of experience as a director of the cemeteries?
Yes, yes.
And so you've put this program, hopefully people will take advantage of it and make some decisions and be prepared.
Right. Well, we just want them to know going in all of their options, because there's so many options now. Before it used to be just one way, and now you have cremation. We have a beautiful cremation garden in Island Pond that a lot of people use, and people can always go to the Veterans Cemetery in Bourne, or, you know, we have 100 acres of cemetery space here in Harwich. We have the most cemetery space on the Cape.
Really?
Yeah, we have 18 cemeteries. We have
18 cemeteries.
Yeah, we have
I know, what, 4 or 5?
Yeah, we have six real active ones, but we have 18 cemeteries. But I will have like maps of all of our cemeteries. A lot of people also don't realize if they have old family lots and there's only 2 people buried and they had an 8-family lot, there is space available for them in those lots.
Yes.
So a lot of times people will call me and say, my grandmother's lot is in Island Pond and there's 8 grave spaces. Is there space in there for me? We just go through who the original owner was, who their children are. I'm a registered genealogist, so for me it takes me a few minutes just to look up that information and verify who they are.
Yeah.
The other thing is a lot of people don't know that when your loved one passes, you need to know both their parents' first and last names and their mother's maiden name, but you also are supposed to know what town they were born in. And a lot of times as a genealogist, those spaces are blank when you look at a death certificate. So I give them a little sheet to fill out and say, while your spouse is still around, you should probably ask them these questions. And if you do not know where they were born, you actually can get a copy of your own birth certificate because it's on your birth certificate where both your parents were born.
Okay.
The original one from whatever town you were born.
One.
Yeah.
I got just a little card.
Yeah, you need the original one.
Yeah.
Or you can call the town hall from where you were born at. Okay.
Well, it's okay. Yes. It sounds like a very nice program.
Okay.
So.